This is Dizzy Panic on the Amiga 600. We used to have an A600 when I was a kid. My dad used to buy games for it, and he would famously say that he never bought a bad game. And then he bought Dizzy Panic and we played it and I hated it. I just didn't know what to do. Going back to it now, trying to figure out what it is you're actually supposed to do. I know you're supposed to line the shapes up so that they go through the little gaps in the thing, but I can never figure out what you're supposed to do, and the controls feel so stiff. You have to wait for the shapes lower down, and you press left and right to try and move the slider, and it just takes forever to move along. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. And because you can't move it quick enough, you miss the shapes and then end up getting game over. And then when it goes into two like this, you never get two shapes come out the same two tubes next to each other. So like, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to line them all up? How do you get those two to go through? And then you get game over like almost straight away. So let's try again. I've cut out the epileptic fit inducing panic bit at the start. See, the slider moves really smoothly, but then when you've got shapes coming down and you try and move it, it's really slow and sluggish. See, I've got that blue triangle, second one down. I can't get the slider along quick enough to get it through. I just don't know what you're supposed to do. There's no way you can get all the shapes to go through that little slider. You are going to miss some, and some are going to hit the slider. And every time they do, the tube's lower. Let's try keyboard. Ah, okay, so if you press the fire button on the keyboard, I think that's S, then the shapes shoot down and go through the slider. Maybe this is where I've been going wrong. But now it doesn't want to work. So why did it work once and then not work again? See, I still don't know what I'm supposed to do. How are you supposed to get them all? It seems to... The S trigger thing seems to work when it wants to work. I still don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to try again. Yeah, okay, I was pressing the wrong button. Right, so you press, I think it's S on the keyboard, and it makes the shapes shoot down through the slider, which makes a bit of sense when you've got ones next to each other like that you can't line up. You can at least line one of them up and get the shape in the right place to get it to go through the slider. I feel like I'm kind of figuring it out now. This makes it a lot easier, but I still don't know what the rhyme and rhythm is with, oh okay, new shapes. I still don't know what the rhyme and rhythm is with where they are, like as they're falling down, as to which ones go through the slider and which ones don't. Is it the ones that you've got lined up? I think that's how it works. I think I'm actually getting the hang of this. Controls still feel a bit weird with keyboard. It might actually be easier with the joystick, I think. But yeah, this is alright actually. This isn't such a bad game after all. Once you figure the controls out and get it, understand what you're doing, yeah, actually this isn't bad. This is alright. I actually think I know what I'm doing now. Once you get the shape on the slider lined up in the right position for the one falling down and press the fire button, it drops through the slider. You've just got to be careful not to move the slider as you've got a shape dropping down, otherwise it doesn't go through the little gap things. But I think I'm actually figuring it out. This is quite fun actually. This is alright. It's not a crap game after all. It's okay. You've just got to work out how it actually works, I guess. I've just realised that the little dots at the top denote the colour of the shape that's coming out of the tube next. I literally hadn't noticed that until now, which would have made it a lot easier to line the slider up with the right shape if I'd have spotted that earlier. Oh well, I've got this far. This is actually like genuinely pretty good, like Tetris levels of good in terms of a puzzle game. And all these years, like, I've hated it and called it like the worst game I ever played, or one of the worst games I've ever played. And it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I feel like something like this on like Game Boy or GBA or something would be really good and be really addictive. I don't know if like it's a clone of another puzzle game on another console or something, but yeah, I imagine something on this like on Game Boy would be really fun. Definitely getting a lot harder now. I'm really struggling to try and keep up with what's coming through. And yeah, I think I'm going to get game over. But yeah, no, this is actually good. This is alright. Alright, Dizzy Panic on the Commodore 64. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Commodore 64. Never had one when I was a kid, but I really like the graphic palette colours and I really like the sound chip and the music engine. What's this? Alright, fair enough. Not quite sure what that's. Alistair Brimble's a legend though. I wonder if he did the music for the Amiga version. Okay, it controls different to the Amiga version. I don't think there's a button to make the shapes drop down, but they seem to just drop down after you move the slider a couple of times, I think. Oh, a bit sluggish as well. not as fast paced as the Amiga version either, because you have to wait for the shape to drop down, unless there is a button you press, but if there is, I don't know what it is, I can't figure it out. I've tried different button presses. I think this was a port from the Amiga. I think the Amiga is the first official version. The A500 I think was the device it came out on, and I think the C64 version is a port, but yeah, this doesn't feel as smooth, it's not as good. It does help with the colour of the tubes changing. I guess you can easily see like which shape is coming through next, but it controls really weird. So the fire button moves the slider to the right, and then like down moves the slider to the left, and from what I can tell, like nothing else does anything. So it's a bit confusing, and scrolling through the slider in the right direction can be a bit weird and odd. Don't think it's as good as the Amiga version, but well, the C64 is alright. Sound chip's nice. I'm going to carry on playing through until I get game over or whatever. See what happens if you clear a stage. I've got 13 shapes left. It's a bit long as well, because you have to wait for them to drop down. It's not as fast paced as the Amiga one. They try to make it as fast paced, like the shapes drop down after like a few moves of the slider, I think, but it's not the same. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do it any quicker, but even if I get to the next level now, oh here we go, right, I'm on the next level now. Even though I'm on like the next level, look, the tubes haven't reset, so I don't know how I'm supposed to do it any quicker. Maybe there is a button that makes them drop down quicker, but if there is, I can't find it. Yeah, I'm just going to get game over. Yep, there we go, game over. Yeah, that wasn't as good as the Amiga one, but well, alright for C64 I guess. Okay, let's look at Panic Dizzy, same game but on the Spectrum. Again, probably a conversion. The original came out on the Amiga, so this is probably a conversion for the old Spectrum systems. Controls feel a bit weird, I don't actually know what left and right is. And it plays the same as the C64 version. This feels a lot faster though. Again, I don't know what button you press to make the shapes drop down, I don't know if there is one. Z and X moves the slider left and right, which actually is a lot easier than the C64 controls. This plays a lot quicker as well, it's a lot more fast paced. This is better than the C64 version. I do like the Spectrum, but half the games on the Spectrum are just so impossible to figure out what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to control them without, you know, access to the old instructions and tape stuff from back in the day. So the Spectrum can be a bit weird console to try and emulate like in modern day, but it's still fun. And this plays really well though, I like this. It's not quite as good as the Amiga, but it's better than the C64 port. It's pretty fast paced. And yeah, I could get into this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to like clear the number of shapes quicker than the tubes are dropping down. I can't find a button to make them drop down any quicker, but well, I don't know, maybe I just need to muck around with it and play it some more. But this is fine, this is alright. I'm going to see if I can clear these last 10 shapes before I get game over. With it being Z and X, it can be a bit confusing when you're not looking which way you want the slider to go. Oh, there we go. So same as the C64, it splits it into the two again, but look, the tubes haven't reset again, so there must be some way you make the shapes drop down quicker to clear the tubes quicker, right? I presume so anyway, because yeah, there we go. I'm just going to get game over again. So that was Dizzy Panic on the Amiga. It started out at the beginning of this video as one of the worst games I've ever played, but actually once you figure out the controls and figure out how you're supposed to do it, it's actually not that bad. That was alright. C64 version was a bit slow and a bit boring, but the Spectrum version was quite good. I feel like if you figured out how to play it a bit better, that would be a really good game. But yeah, no, I enjoyed this one. This was not as bad as I thought it was, or as bad as I remember it was. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.